Now then guys, what's going on? Yorkie here and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about those super duper rich clubs, sugar daddy teams that you can manage on FIFA 22 and maybe a few tips on how to manage them as well. We're going to kick this one off with the obvious one. We're actually managing them right now on the channel. If you haven't seen it, go and give it a watch. It's a lot of fun. We did implement some rules in place, which I guess you could do as well. Like the first season, we didn't spend more than 200 million unless we brought in profit, because I try and play as if there's financial fair play. But go mad with this one here at Newcastle. I would give yourself £8 billion. Of course, when we talk about sugar daddy clubs, a lot of these teams don't actually have their rich ownership in the game, which is unfortunate, but again, it's FIFA, so you will have to implement that. I gave us £1 billion at Newcastle. Obviously, I didn't spend it all in one go, but if you want to absolutely go mad with it, I know some people that have spent the entire $1 billion and rebuilt an entire team, which is feasible because the Newcastle squad isn't that good. There's maybe one or two players that you might keep around at Newcastle if you have the choice. Of course, in order to do this, you will select your club, you'll go in and you do a financial takeover. Now, you will probably have to do this for the majority of clubs that we talk about today, but go in, give yourself a financial takeover, and then just have a lot of fun. Newcastle is a really fun save because they're a team that have been in the doldrums of the Premier League for a long time, and you're going to have that opportunity to basically do what happened at Man City and now do it with Newcastle. And in my opinion, that's a lot of fun. We're sticking around here in England for team number 2, and that team, of course, is going to be Wrexham. But the first thing you're going to have to do is, well, you'll have to get rid of someone. But I'm sorry, Walsall fans, this isn't necessarily the team I would get rid of, but we will get rid of them for this. And then you add Wrexham in, and of course, again, they're not going to have a budget that represents probably the ownership they have now. Wrexham is a much more interesting one because, of course, giving them £1 billion doesn't make sense unless you are very clever with how you spend your money. If I was doing this save personally, I'd probably have like a step-up system. Like first season, I've got 5 million. We get promotion, I've got 10 million. We get promotion again, I've got 15 million to spend. At that stage, we would be in the Championship. And then when we get to the Premiership, all bets are off because, of course, the owners then would really want to start pushing things at Wrexham. I would probably implement some of that stuff in place. I would maybe give myself a £500 million takeover and then work from there. Again, just whatever's fun for you, but that is how I would do it. I would maybe say season 1, I've got 5 million to spend. That's a hefty budget for a League 2 side. A very, very hefty budget. And then promotion, season 2, 10 million. If you don't get promotion, 5 million again. Maybe set yourself a limit for what you'll give yourself to spend and just do it dependent on the league you're in. For me, that's going to be the best way to enjoy this. But Wrexham could be a really good road to glory save. But you got a little bit of cash to help you out along the way. Next team we're going to move to is Hertha Berlin. Now, they've been rich for a while, and you wouldn't actually need to do a financial takeover for this one because they do start with a hefty budget. If you wanted to give yourself a little bit more money, then that's absolutely fine, but they do start with a decent budget. It is represented quite well in the game, and Hertha Berlin have had riches now for a few seasons. They've signed a lot of players, and it hasn't really worked out for them. Can you be the guy that goes in there and changes that? This is not a bad team here at Hertha Berlin, but it is a bloated team. There are 40 players in this squad at the moment, and there are definitely some players that you need to move out from the old regime where they spent a lot of money and it hasn't quite worked out. But you've got Jovetic, which is fantastic. What a legend Jovetic is. Honestly, it's not that bad of a team. Players like Stark will definitely still grow. He's got great height and he is a good centre-back. Like, honestly, this is a decent side. They've got Piontek, which he's had a real knock to his overall. Like, we had him last year, and I think he started at 80 or 79 rated overall. So he's had a big knock. But honestly, this is not a bad team. This is a decent team for you to be starting out with in Germany. It's one that I've contemplated doing myself here in Germany when Dilrosun comes back. Make sure you're using him. I'm a big fan of him. You're going to have to move some players out, of course, so you're going to have to bring some players in, but you do have a hefty budget here. That's just going to be made bigger and bigger the more and more you remove the dead wood from this team. So according to the internet, Macau have a sugar daddy, and they always have done, well, at least for the past few years in Football Manager. Of course, that's not implemented here on FIFA. Now, there are definitely varying degrees of sugar daddies depending on how much money they're going to spend, but let's just put it this way, Macau are rich. They're not Newcastle rich, though. Let's remember that. that, but they are rich, so I would not be against starting a Falcao save and giving yourself £100 million. Plus, Portugal is something different. I imagine a lot of us don't manage in foreign leagues, and when we do manage in foreign leagues, we stick to the ones that are licensed in the game. Portugal is a lot of fun, or at least it has been fun for me for years on Football Manager. I'm sure you'll get a lot of joy out of this one here on FIFA. They've got some pretty sick kits as well, so I think it'd be a fun save. For the final club on this list, we are going to end up in Spain and with Almeria. They've had a sugar daddy now for a while, but have been struggling to get themselves out of the smart bank. This is going to be a great opportunity for you to push them that one step further and then try and assert dominance once you're in La Liga. It doesn't represent it too well in the game. That is an inflated budget compared to some of the teams in this league, but again, it's still not really sugar daddy levels. And unfortunately, because there is no background coding, when you do hit La Liga, you won't all of a sudden get a boost of money, which I imagine Almeria will have once they hit the big time. So I would give yourself a takeover. Maybe don't spend too much in season number 1. They've already built a team clearly in real life that is most likely capable of getting promotion. Maybe you just add 1 or 2 to that, and then in season number 2, you spend some of the riches that you give yourself. I think this would be a really fun save. I've never really done lower league in the foreign league, so this one to me would be a lot of fun. I think you guys will enjoy it as well. Again, as I say, they're one of the better teams down here. They really are, so you don't need to do too much here in season number 1. They're just some of the few teams I think would be really fun saves with financial takeovers, and I thought we'd make a video on it. Now, of course, there could be other teams that we did in there. Chelsea, they have a sugar daddy owner. Man City as well is a team that we could have done with this, but I didn't see much point. PSG as well. Do you really want to manage any of them teams? If you do, that's absolutely fine, and you're going to have the budget to start with, but these are teams that definitely still need a lot of work and building in order to take them to the top, and I find that to be the most fun here in FIFA. That's going to be it for this video. Short and sweet. I hope you're all doing good. If you are new around here and you haven't hit the subscribe button already, make sure that you smash that and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you do end up managing any of these teams and how your save gets on. Appreciate each and every one of you. Happy holiday season, and I will see you in the next video.